First thing we're going to start with is the Fix Plus. Always got to have that to hydrate. Next, it's really important to make sure that you prime. Make sure that you put your primer all over, starting from the center, all the way out around the perimeter. I'm using Natural Radiance by MAC. Next, because I want to have that skin from within glow, I go to my Danessa Myricks in Illuminating Veil, and I use the shade Radiance for all the points that I want to highlight and accentuate a glow on the finish. All over in those areas is where I'm going to place it so that we can have that little glow effect underneath the foundation. Okay, now what I'm going to do is brush up the brows here, fluff them up so I can really see the shape. Go in with a brow gel to hold them in place, creating a base for your brow pencil when you go in. Also, this really helps to create a longer lasting brow. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dark Brown in the Brow Wiz to really just fill in because she has great brows anyway. So we just need to kind of go in there and just, outline it. Give it a nice shape, fill in the gaps, and that's it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is use my Tarte Shape Tape in Deep. And I'm going to go under here, not really creating like a super bright brow bone highlight, but I just want to use this as my eraser to go in and clean up around there. I'm not really trying to super carve out her brows and give her no Sharpie. This ain't the Sharpie brow, honey. This is the natural brow look. And we really want to just clean up under that area. Okay, now what I'm going to do is come in here with my M Mitchell in Blank Canvas from P. Louise. I like this because it dries down to a matte and I don't need to like set it with the powder or anything like that on top. This is a great eyeshadow base because it's bright. So because I'm going to do this neon glam, I am going to make sure that I have a nice bright base to really pick up and grab the shadow. And you want to just start at the lid. Make sure you blend it up all the way to the middle. And as you can see, I'm going to be using the Norvina 3. Starting with a bright yellow color in there. I'm going to go in with that one. And I had to swipe this off because I started with another look. So you'll see in the next shot here that I took the other eye off and switched over to the other eye, because I didn't like how it was turning out on one side. So I kind of just recharged and started over. Okay, so I went ahead and finished up the eyes off camera. I will go back to them and finish up underneath, but I did finish up the top part. What I'm doing now is going in with the LA Girl color corrector in orange. This is very vital for doing your foundation. Making sure that you're one even skin tone before applying your foundation. That is key, because otherwise, girl, you don't want to be ashy. I don't want to be ashy no more. But yeah, you want to make sure that you're color correcting no matter what nationality you are. If you are of a darker complected skin tone and you have discolorations, maybe under your eyes, like dark circles, dark spots, or sometimes around the mouth, sometimes around the forehead, if it's really extreme, make sure you color correct it so that way your foundation will be one solid tone. Everything will blend nicely at the end. So what I'm doing now is going in here and applying the foundation all over that I've mixed together. This is a full coverage foundation, so if this is not you, if you are not that girl, then just find what works for you and your preference and how you like to wear your foundation. But we decided to make it thicky thick, girl. Ooh, you thick. But this is what I typically do when putting on foundation because it helps with the blend purposes. So we're going to go in and blend that out. But this is just typically a good way to kind of get you started and see. Also, this is great because I like to swatch, make sure it's going to blend in right. But this is what we do. Now let's get to it. Okay, so basically what I'm doing here is making sure that everything is blended in first with a brush. I will go back and use a beauty blender to finish everything out. I did already set under her eyes. I did forget to hit the record button again when I started this part of the video, but I did go in there with the Tarte Shape concealer in the shade Deep initially, and then I did on top to highlight in her T-zone with the Too Faced concealer in the shade Butterscotch. And then I also went under her eyes and set her under eyes with the Beauty Bakery Cosmetics shade Yellow powder, just to set under everywhere that I highlighted. So her under eyes are already set. And right now I'm just going to go in with the Juvia's Place in the shade Tunisia. You will see I butchered it, but you'll see the correct spelling. But this is to contour. This is to bring back warmth. I love this because it really helps to melt into the skin. The coverage is nice. A little goes a long way. You do not need a lot. That's why I only do a little bit at the top for her nose. We are not in a race, honey. We do not need to find the finish line, okay? So you don't need to do 2 lines all the way down. Sometimes you only need to do it in certain areas. And that's why I'm doing that. But a little goes a long way. A little dabble do you. I'm definitely going to stretch it down, but I'm definitely not going in there and giving my niece no racer stripe nose. Okay? I'm going to blend this out all around the forehead. I basically did like the letter 3. You can see she's zooming in, giving you all that face, hunty. Yes. So right now, I'm just going to blend everything out. And you'll see how I do that with a fluffy dome-shaped brush. And this is a MAC 109, I believe. And I'm just taking that and blending everything out to perfection, making sure that everything is sculpted along her face, contoured, because we really want to create depth and bring those shadows back in and bring warmth back to her skin. Keep watching. As you can see, she is well blended to perfection, but I am going to come back in here hitting under her jaw, actually blending around her jawline very softly and slightly on her chin. This is great using that Juvia's Place because that is a stick foundation that they have, but I'm using it as a contour. This really helps to like soften the jawline, pushes things in, you know, give it that snatch kind of look, creating that perfect shape of that oval shape base because it photographs so well. Also, just making sure that you do not, absolutely do not put the contour on your actual jawline. You go slightly under the jaw. You see I take it a little bit back behind the ear a little bit. Just blend that out and making sure that you're gently doing it and using little product at a time, building it up to blend and not so much at a time. I always go back just to make sure that everything is blended, checking and over checking my work. So what I'm doing now is going back with the Beauty Blender and I'm going around the areas to make sure that there's no harsh lines, making sure that everything is blended to perfection, making sure that the skin, everything is melted in, there's no excess product, no extra product, just sitting there, really pushing it into the skin and melting into the skin. That's what gives it that believable contour that is not harsh, that looks more natural. It looks like she just, you know, got a little tan and bronzed. I'm going to go in now with the eyeliner. First, I used the brown to start out. I wanted to make sure that I created some more depth around the eye because it was so bright. I wanted to add more depth in there with shadows to create like contoured underneath the eye. Yes, girl. Look at my knees. Ooh, she ready. What we're doing now is going in with the Fenty Mother. Mocha Mommy. Using that to set the contour that we used earlier. And obviously just adding to that beautiful bronzy contoured face. Yes, she happy. She thinks she cute. Because she is. Yes, girl. Did that. So what I'm doing now is going in and blending that powder over her nose, into her brows, slightly in the eye socket, also bouncing that beauty blender all over again, making sure that everything is blended. I did not get a chance to go in and tell you what the lip I did, but it's Color Pop on her lips.